You keep telling yourself you'll change next week, while scrolling right now instead of doing anything that actually proves it. That habit of delaying action is not harmless. It's quietly building a weaker version of you every single day. And that weak version is the reason your life isn't moving. Talent is not your problem. Opportunity is not your problem. You could be given better circumstances, better timing, better people, and still end up in the exact same place. Because the problem is not what you lack. It's who you are when no one is watching you decide. You don't fail because life is hard. You fail because your identity collapses the moment pressure appears. And you don't even realize it. Let's stop pretending. You say you want discipline, but you only act disciplined when you feel like it. You say you want success, but you abandon the process the moment it stops feeling rewarding. You start strong. You fade faster. Then you call it bad timing or lack of motivation, like that explains anything. But here's what you actually do. You behave like a different person depending on your mood. One day you're focused, the next day you're distracted and lost. And you keep switching identities like it doesn't cost you everything. That inconsistency is not your personality. It is your weakness running your life. And deep down, you already know it. That's why you keep defending your failures instead of changing them. Here's the truth you don't want to hear. Your brain does not care about your goals. It cares about your identity. Psychology calls it self-consistency bias. You behave in ways that match who you believe you are, even when it destroys your future. That's why discipline doesn't stick for you. Not because you don't know what to do, but because you don't believe you are the type of person who does it consistently. There is a massive gap between your potential self and your current identity. And every time you quit early, avoid discomfort, or restart your life, you widen that gap. Staying the same doesn't feel painful at first. But over time, it becomes humiliation, disguised as comfort. And that's the trap. You wake up and negotiate with yourself. Should I work out today? Should I start now or later? Should I try again Monday? A high-performing person does not negotiate identity. You are treating discipline like a decision. But for strong people, it is identity. They don't ask if they feel like it. They act because that's who they are. Concrete action. Remove the question. Replace "should I" with "this is what I do." No debate. No emotional voting. So the question is, are you deciding every day who you are, or are you finally becoming someone fixed? You try to build routines on top of a broken self-image. You say, I am trying to be consistent, but inside you still believe you are inconsistent. So what happens? You sabotage progress before it proves you wrong. You skip one day, then two, then restart. Because deep down, consistency feels unfamiliar. You don't quit because it's hard. You quit because it conflicts with who you think you are. Concrete action. Stop labeling yourself as trying. Start acting as if the identity already exists. No announcements, only behavior. So the question is, are you building habits or reinforcing a fragile identity? You tell yourself you want change, but the moment discomfort shows up, early alarm, hard work, rejection, you choose comfort. You scroll, you delay, you reset, and you call it balance. But it's not balance, it's avoidance. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you are voting against your future self. Concrete action. Do one uncomfortable action daily before anything else. No phone, no delay, just action that builds friction tolerance. So the question is your future self being protected or constantly betrayed? Start, stop, restart, repeat. It feels like progress, but it's actually fragmentation, because continuity exposes truth. And you don't want to see the truth yet, that you're not consistent, not yet. So you reset before reality has time to define you. Concrete action. From today, no resets, only continuation, even after failure, especially after failure. So the question is, are you building momentum or escaping accountability? This is where most people start resisting, because it's easier to believe you are just unlucky or not ready yet. And maybe you've tried before. Maybe you've failed more times than you can count. Maybe you're tired of starting over and hearing the same advice again and again. But that frustration you feel right now is proof you care. And that is exactly why most people stay stuck. Because they care, but they don't change their identity. They want results without becoming someone different. but change always demands identity first. Every broken promise to yourself matters more than you think. I'll start tomorrow. I'll be consistent this time. I won't quit again. Then you quit. Again. And your brain records it. Every time. Not as failure. As pattern. And a person who cannot trust their own word will never trust their own future. Concrete action. Make one promise today that is so small you cannot fail it. Then execute it immediately. Rebuild self-trust in action, not intention. So the question is, are you someone who keeps promises or someone who breaks them quietly? You think identity is something you declare. It is not. It is something you prove under pressure. When you are tired. When you are distracted. When no one is watching. That is where identity is forged. Not in motivation. In repetition under resistance. Concrete action. Pick one discipline and refuse to break it for 7 days straight, no matter how small. Build proof, not promises. So the question is, are you performing discipline or becoming it? Stop thinking about what you want to achieve. Start thinking about who is achieving it. Because there is a version of you who doesn't restart anymore. He doesn't negotiate. He doesn't reset. He doesn't disappear when things get uncomfortable. He continues, even when it feels pointless. Even when no one is watching. Even when you feel like quitting. That version of you is not luckier. He is more committed to identity than emotion. Imagine him. He wakes up early without debate. He works when it's boring. He shows up when motivation is gone. And it doesn't feel heroic to him. It feels normal. Because he became it through repetition. That is not a different person. That is you, without excuses. And the only thing standing between you and that version is your current identity. Today is not about starting over again. It's about refusing to reset. Pick one thing you have been inconsistent with. 1. And continue it today without drama, without emotion, without announcement, even if it's small. Especially if it's small. Because this is how identity changes. Not in moments. In continuation. You are not waiting to become disciplined. You are deciding whether discipline becomes you. And the moment you stop restarting your life is the moment your life stops repeating itself. Next time you feel the urge to start fresh, remember this. Fresh starts built your weakness. Continuation builds your life.